Okay, because in superposition theorem, what we are going to do, we are going to find the total response. That response can be of current, voltage, but what we are going to do, instead of finding the total current or voltage at the single time, we are going to use only one source at a time in the circuit, and we are going to find the individual responses of that particular source. So if you are having three sources, then three sources will contribute to any particular current in one circuit. So instead of finding the overall effectiveness at a single time, what we are going to do is we are going to see the contribution of individual sources. Then later on, we are going to add all those individual responses in order to obtain the overall current or voltage. Okay, so let me explain about that again so that you can recall it, so that it will be easy for you. So here, what do we need to do? For in this problem, we need to find the current, that is this. Just a minute. That is this current we need to find. Now this current is contributed by three sources. One is this, second one is this, and third one is this. So this I is going to be the summation of individual contribution of all the sources. So suppose total current is flowing. If the current given by this 12 volt source is I1, and the current given by this 24 volt source is I2, and current given by this 3 ampere source is I3, then if you add the individual contribution of the sources to this current, then it will be the overall current. Okay, this I1, I2, I3 are the contributions through to this 3 ohm resistor by the sources. Okay, so we will be finding the individual currents provided by the individual circuit sources, then that we will add it together in order to find the total current which is flowing in that particular element. Okay, so we are finding the individual responses provided by the individual source, and we are adding it together algebraically so that we can obtain the total response of that particular current or voltage. Okay, so for that, what would we see? First step is to consider only one source at a time. So if we are having a circuit here we are having three sources. What do we need to do? We have to consider only one source at a time. So for step one, you can see here that we are considering only one source, that is a 12 volt source here. Remaining two sources, we have made it zero. So for a voltage source, we should made it zero by making it as a short circuit. Why we are making it as a short circuit for a voltage sources? Because its internal resistance is zero. Actually, what we are doing, we are replacing the voltage source by its internal resistance. Similarly, for a current source, this is an ideal independent current source. So we are replacing with its internal resistance as open circuit. Okay. So this we have already discussed a lot of time. So we have to replace it with its internal resistance. If you replace it with its internal resistance, then the voltage source will be giving 0 volt and the current source will be giving 0 ampere. Okay, so once you do this, we can reduce the circuit very easily. Okay, so you can see here that we are having a 4 ohm resistor here and 8 ohm resistor here. So some current enters this path, it should go through this path only, because this is an open circuit, so no current can flow here. So the current whatever enters here, that should be going through this. So it's obvious that this 8 ohm resistor and this 4 ohm resistor are in parallel. So this 8 ohm resistor and 4 ohm resistor in parallel, so you can multiply 8 into 4 divided by 8 plus 4, so that is 32 divided by 12. Oh, sorry, this is in series, so it is 8 plus 4. These two are in series, so it is 8 plus 4, so you will be getting 12 ohm. Okay, so once you make these two as series component, then the total resistance available here is 12 ohm, because both are in series. So this 12 ohm will be coming here, then it will be coming like this. So this 12 ohm will be parallel to this 4 ohm, now. Okay, because both the starting terminal and ending terminals are connected together, so you can say that this 12 ohm resistor and this 4 ohm resistor are connected in parallel. So you can find the equivalent resistance using this 12 into 4 divided by 12 plus 4, that is nothing but 48 divided by 16. So you will get 3 ohm. So if you have 3 ohm, that will be the equivalent circuit, the equivalent resistance, that 3 ohm is given here. Then 3 plus 3 is, both are in series, so this is 6 ohm, right? So 12 volt source is there and you are having 6 ohm resistance as together, so the current flowing through this path is 12 divided by 6, nothing but 2 ampere. So that is the current which is flowing through this 3 ohm resistor also. So this I1 is equal to 2 ampere. This current is provided by the 12 volt source available in this circuit. Okay, now what do we need to do? For the second step, we have to use another circuit and replace the remaining circuit, remaining source. What we need to consider here in step 2, we need to consider the second source and we need to replace the other sources by its internal resistance. If you replace it with its internal resistance, you can see here that this will become short circuit because it is a voltage source, and this will become open circuit because this is a current source. So because we have replaced it with its internal resistance, then we have to reduce the circuit again. So now if you see, the current will not flowing through this path, because it is an open circuit. Then you can see that 4 ohm resistor and this 3 ohm resistor, its starting point and ending point are same because there is a wire, there is no voltage drop between this wire. So you can consider that whatever the voltage is available here, that will be available here also with respect to ground, right? So in that case, you can consider this 4 ohm resistor and this 3 ohm resistor are in parallel. If two resistors are in parallel, obviously you can find it out the equivalent resistance of it. So 4 into 3 divided by 4 plus 3, so that you can find it as equivalent resistance, that is 12 by 7. Okay, so once you find this, what is the remaining circuit you are having? This is the 4 parallel to 3, this is the equivalent resistance value, then that is in series with the 4 ohm resistor, that is in series with this 8 ohm resistor. So it is very clear that these three resistors are in series. So if you find the equivalent resistance of this, you can you will be having some R equivalent value. Then you can find the current. I is equal to V divided by R equivalent. So V is 24 volt. Then R equivalent, those elements are connected in series. So I have just added 8 plus 4 plus 12.7. So if you reduce it, we are getting 1.75 ampere. Okay, so you can see here that I have mentioned as 1.75 ampere because this current is going to coming this path. Okay, so now actually the current which we need here is this I, but what we have found, the total current supplied by this 24 volt source. Now we have to use some other thing in order to find the I2, that is the current flowing through this 3 ohm resistor. So let us redraw this circuit. So once you redraw this circuit, we have found this current, that is 1.75 ampere, that is coming out of the voltage source. Now what we can do, so some current is going to be divided here and some current is going to be divided here. Okay, one current is going to divide here and another current is going to, it is going to be here, and some current is going to be here. Okay, now you can see here that I have drawn clearly IC will be in this way, IB will be in this way, because at a node some current is going to divide. Okay, so this is IC and this is IB, and IA is coming, that we have already obtained. Okay, now what you can do, you can apply current division formula in order to find the current. Okay, so you are having 4 ohm resistor and 3 ohm resistor like this. Okay, so 1.75 ampere is coming in this way, and so it should be dividing here and here, right? So this for this is 4 ohm resistor and this is 3 ohm resistor. So if you apply current division, how you can apply current division? You want to find the current flow through this 3 ohm resistor. Then this is X point. Okay, this is Y point. Okay, this is X. Let's say this is Y and this is X. Okay, this is X point. So the current need to be divided. If you apply current division rule, you can find it out the current, total current into opposite resistor divided by sum of the resistor. Okay, this is the way how you can find the current using the current division formula. You need to find the current through this 3 ohm resistor. So you have to multiply with the opposite resistance divided by the sum of the resistances. So if you substitute this, you can find the current IB. IB is nothing but 1 ampere as per this. Okay, so what we have found the current through this 3 ohm resistor. Okay, now one thing you have to keep it in mind here is, just a minute. One thing you need to keep it in mind here is how we have found the current. Okay, using current division formula, what we did. Okay, we found the current through this direction and we have found the current through this direction. Okay, so the current will be flowing here, and this current, which is IB, which will be flowing in this path like this. Okay, it is very clear IB is in opposite direction to I2. Okay, IB is in opposite direction to I2. So whatever the current we have found, that should be in the negative polarity, because our assumed direction is opposite to the actual current direction of I2. So I2 is equal to minus IB. Is it clear? We have assumed some current direction and we have found the current. Okay, but you can see very clearly that the I2 current direction is in opposite to the IB. So we have to consider I2 is equal to negative of IB. Just because of that, the current is flowing in the opposite direction. Okay, nothing else. Okay, so now this is for the I2. This is the current contributed by the 24 volt source in this circuit. Okay, so this here the polarity is very essential. The negative sign, the current direction is going to be very essential, because we are going to do algebraic sum. So whether it is a positive or negative, we should take it properly in order to find the actual value correctly. Okay, the third step is to consider the third source, and we have to replace the other sources with its internal resistance. So for other sources, its internal resistance is 0 ohm, because both are voltage sources. What we are going to do, we are going to short circuit it. Then the current source magnitude is 3 ampere. Then we are going to apply some KVL, KCL, or mesh nodal analysis, or current division or voltage division, in order to find the required thing. So here, what do we need to find? We need to find I3. Okay, so now in this circuit, again, it is very clear from the circuit that this 4 ohm resistor and this 3 ohm resistor are in parallel. Okay, because both the starting points and ending points are same, and there is no voltage drop between the any of the terminals, top terminal or bottom terminal, right? So because of this, you can say that these two resistors are in parallel. So if you find the equivalent resistance of that, you will be getting 12 divided by 7. Then once you make the equivalent resistance of it, you will be getting the one equivalent resistance as 12 by ohm. Okay, so if you draw this, these two resistors are in parallel. So I have made an equivalent circuit, that is equivalent resistance, that is 12 by 7. So once I made this equivalent resistance, that resistance and this 4 ohm resistance are in series. Okay, then if you find the equivalent value, of this, so you can directly find 4 plus 12 divided by 7, because both the elements are in series. So if you find the equivalent, that will be, if you find this value, this will be equivalent to this will be parallel to 8 ohm resistor. Okay, so then you can find the equivalent resistance, then you can find whatever you want. Okay, but here we don't need to find the equivalent resistance. What do we need to do here is we need to find the current flowing through this path. Okay, we need to find the current flowing through this path, because what do we need here? Actually, in this circuit, we need to find the current through this 3 ohm resistor. Okay, what do we need to find? We need to find the current through this 3 ohm resistor. So in order to find the current through this 3 ohm resistor, you should know the current flowing through this path and flowing through this path. Then only you can find the current flowing through this path. That is this 3 ohm resistor. So for finding this, what we can do, you have found this equivalent, you have found this, these two resistors are in series, right? Now you can apply current division formula in order to obtain the current through this path. How you can apply? The total resistance available in this path is 4 plus 12 divided by 7, and this is the opposite resistance. So you have written the opposite resistance here. This is giving the sum of resistances available in the circuit. You need to find the current through this path. So obviously you have to multiply with the opposite resistance for the current division. So I have multiplied with the opposite resistance, and this is the overall current magnitude, that is going to be 3 ampere. Okay, so this 3 ampere is going to be divided among this one and this one. It is mentioned as ID and IE. So we need to find IE. So in order to find IE, what do we need to do? We have to multiply with the opposite resistance divided by sum of the resistances, then multiply by the overall current. Overall current is 3 ampere, so we have to multiply with the overall current. So if you obtain like this, we are getting IE as 1.75 ampere. Once you find IE as 1.75 ampere, then what we need to find? Actually, we need to find the current through this 3 ohm resistor, that is I3. The current entering here is IE, that we have found IE. Now, once you you know that the current is current entering here is IE, then you are having 4 ohm resistor and 3 ohm resistor. These two are connected in parallel. Again, you apply current division formula in order to obtain the current flowing through this 3 ampere 3 ohm resistor. Okay, so you can consider this path. IE is entering this path, so it is going to divide it into 3. What do we need to find? We need to find I3. So I3 is equal to total current. The total current entering this path is IE, that is nothing but 1.75 ampere into opposite resistance. Opposite resistance for this is 4 ohm divided by sum of the resistances. So 4 divided by 7. Okay, so that is nothing but, here we are going to get I3 as 1 ampere. Okay, so now what we have found? We have found I1, we have found I2, and we have found I3. So what is the total current which is going through the 3 ohm resistor? I is equal to I1 plus I2 plus I3. Okay, so if you find I1 plus I2 plus I3, you will get the overall current. So that is nothing but, first is 2, then minus 1 plus 1. So you will be getting 2 ampere. That is the total current flowing through this path. Even if you apply mesh analysis or nodal analysis, you could have found this current I3 as 2 ampere. Okay, but here we are going to deal with only one source, so sometimes it may be easy to us. Okay, so mainly this theorem says that when you are having n number of sources in the circuit, the total response will be equal to sum of the individual responses provided by the individual sources. Okay, that is what this theorem says. Okay, so when you are having multiple sources, and it is the total response of these multiple sources will be equal to the sum of the responses provided by the individual sources, that is given by the superposition theorem. So exact definition you can go through the books. So it is it would have been given to you. So I'm just giving the simple definition. Okay, so let us see this problem, and we can wind up this superposition theorem. If you are having any doubt, you can ask. In this problem, if you had any doubt, you can ask. If you did not understand something, you can ask, else we can proceed further. Okay, so let us explain with this problem. So here we are having three sources, 1, 2, and 3, then we will find the current or voltage, whichever is asked. Here they have asked I, that is the current flowing through this path. So now what do you need to do? You have to consider only one source at a time. So here they have considered 8-volt source. If they have considered 8-volt source here, this current source should be open circuited and this voltage source should be short circuited. So here this mere a simple circuit. So the current flowing through this path, that is I1, can be given by voltage divided by sum of the resistances. So here voltage is 8 volt and sum of the resistance is 6 plus 2 plus 8, because all these three resistors are connected in series. Since all these resistors are connected in series, you will be getting the current as 0.5 ampere. Okay, then you consider the second source, that is 2 ampere source. So here this 2 ampere is going like this. Then you are going to have a short circuit for two voltage sources. So you can reduce this circuit. If you reduce this circuit, you will be getting a circuit like this. This is 14 ohm and this is 2 ohm and this is 2 ampere. 2 ampere source. So the current will be flowing through this path. Okay. If you redraw this circuit further, you can redraw this circuit as like this. Why I am drawing like this? Because you can see this point and this point is like this. Then this is a 14 ohm resistor. There is no internal element. So I can redraw this part like this. Okay, so this part and this part both are same. So I can redraw like this. Once I redraw like this, it is obvious that these 2 ohm and 14 ohm resistors are in parallel. Then you can obviously find the equivalent. You can obviously apply current division in order to find the current through this path and current through this path. So because you know the total current, you need to find the current through this 14 ohm resistor. Okay, so total current is the 2 and this 2 is the opposite resistance divided by sum of the resistance. 2 into 2 divided by 16, so that is nothing but 0.25 ampere. Okay, then for the step 3 we have to consider the 6-volt source. Remaining sources should be open circuit or short circuited accordingly, whether it is a voltage source or current source. Then we need to find the current, that is I3. Okay, for this voltage source the current is flowing in this direction. Then the current can be given by 6 divided by sum of the resistances, that is 6 plus 2 plus 8. So this current, let's say Ix, so this is coming as 0.37 ampere. It is very clear that we need I3 in this direction. This is the actual current we need to find, but we are assuming the current direction of this voltage source as like this. So in that case, we are going to get some current which is opposite to this of I3, because I3 is in this direction from left to right, and whatever the current we are finding is from right to left. So both are in opposite direction. So whatever the current we are finding, that should be having the negative polarity for I3. So I3 is equal to negative of minus 3.7 minus 0.375 ampere. Okay, so in order to find the total response, we have to sum all the individual responses, I1, I2 and I3. Okay, I1 is nothing but 0.5 ampere, I2 is nothing but 0.25 ampere, and I3 is nothing but minus 0.37 ampere, 375 ampere. Okay. So the total current is coming as 375.375 ampere or 375 milliampere. Okay. Do you have any doubt on this? If you have any doubt in this, you ask, else let us proceed further. If you have any doubt, you can ask, else you can talk, else we will proceed further. Okay, fine. So let me continue. This is the final thing. Actually, other than this, there are three more theorems that we will see, but this is the final topic which you need to understand. Okay, consider that if you are having a voltage source with a resistor in series like this, that can be replaced with a current source with a resistor in parallel. This interchange you can do means when a voltage source is connected in series with a resistor, that can be replaced with a current source with a resistor in parallel like this. This is called as source transformation. Okay, this is also applicable to dependent sources. However, this we will not use it. Okay, the same thing is available for dependent source, but we will not use this for any of your problems mostly, but we will be using this often. Okay, first of all, why do we need this? We will be able to solve the circuit very easily once you understand this. Okay, for example, suppose if you are having a voltage source like this with the resistor, okay, then you are having a current source. Okay, then let's say that you are having a resistor here, and you are having a voltage source with a resistor here. Okay, now what do you need to find in this circuit is, let's say that you need to find the current through this resistor. Okay, for finding this current through this resistor, of course, if you have understood whatever I have told you till now, you can apply mesh analysis, or you can apply nodal analysis, or you can apply superposition theorem in order to find the current that is flowing through this, that is I. Okay, superposition theorem. So these three options you can use in order to find it. Okay, now what we need to find, we need to find the current I, right? So here anyway, it is going to take some time to solve this circuit using this mesh analysis or nodal analysis or superposition theorem. It needs certain time to solve this circuit, right? So now we can easily make this circuit into a different combination so that we can easily solve the circuit. Okay, so as we had discussed here, this voltage source with the resistor in series can be represented as a current source with a resistor in parallel. Okay, now this part, this part you can represent as, this part you can represent as a current source with a resistor in parallel like this, and you are having another current source like this. So okay, you forget about this source, so that to make it understand very easily, so what we have done, we have replaced this voltage source with this resistor as this current source with this resistor. Okay, how to obtain the value of current source, that we will see later. Okay, so we have replaced this voltage source with this resistor as a current source with a resistor in parallel. Now the another resistor is this. Okay, so this is the current I. This is what you need to find. Okay, already when we talked about KCL, we told that if you are having two current sources in parallel, you can find the overall current value like this. Okay, if the current directions are same, so you can add I1 plus I2. Then you are having one resistor and you are having another resistor. So now it is very easy to find the current through this one. So again, you can apply current division formula here in order to obtain the current through this. So what we did, we had a resistor with a voltage source in series, and you have certain circuit like this. Obviously, you can find the current through this resistor using mesh analysis or nodal analysis or superposition theorem. But if the circuit is bigger, let's say you are having 4 or 5 meshes or 4 or 5 nodes, then that time if you apply mesh, nodal or superposition theorem, it will become more time consuming process. So in order to solve some circuits in a very easier manner, we can replace this voltage source with a resistor in series as a current source with a resistor in parallel. What we are going to do, that is called as a source transformation. So when you do source transformation, it will become easier for you to solve the circuit. Okay, not only this, sometimes you may be converting this to this. It is a bidirectional, you can say. It can be converted from this to this. Similarly, it can be converted from this to this. Okay, so mainly why we are doing this is this will make our uh, solution easier. It will make our process easier to find the solution. Okay, so if you are having a voltage source like this and a resistor in series, how you can find the current magnitude of this? So I, you know that I is nothing but V divided by R. V divided by R, right? So what we are going to do, when we are going to do the source transformation from this circuit to this circuit, this network to this network, what we are going to do, this voltage source will be represented by its equivalent current. How we are going to represent it by the equivalent current? I is nothing but equal to V divided by R. This is the voltage and this is the R value. So this is going to define the current value. So Is is given by this. Is is equal to Vs divided by R. Then the resistance, you have to take it as it is. Okay. So here you had some voltage source with a resistor in series, that we have changed it to a current source with a resistor in parallel. Then that current source magnitude can be given by V divided by R. That V is the voltage source magnitude divided by the resistance available in the circuit. That resistance we have drawn it in parallel here. If it is 10 ohm, if it is 10 ohm, we would have taken this resistance as 10 ohm itself. Okay. In case if the voltage source is 100 volt and this resistance value is 10 ohm, then this current source magnitude will be 10 ampere. Okay. Is this clear? Anyone is awake?
Yes, sir.
Good. At least
Yes,
one
sir.
person is awake. Okay. If you have any doubt, you can ask. Else, let us proceed further. Just a minute. Okay. Only two extreme conditions are there when you are having this resistor as zero, that is for a voltage source with a resistor as zero, then you cannot do source transformation. And another thing is when you are having this resistor as infinite, then also you cannot do the source transformation. Okay, these are extreme conditions. When you are having resistance as zero or even infinite, you can consider, or zero or here you can consider. Okay, you just consider the two extreme conditions. When R is equal to 0 for a voltage source with a resistor, when the R is equal to 0, then you cannot do the source transformation. Similarly, when the R is equal to infinite, then you cannot do the source transformation from this part to this part. These are two extreme conditions. Mainly what we are doing, we are doing source transformation in order to make our calculations simpler. So, and we have seen two extreme conditions. One is R is equal to 0 for the resistor with the voltage source as 0, and R is equal to infinite for the resistor as infinite when it is connected in parallel with the current source. So these two things are extreme conditions. In this condition, you cannot do source transformation. You cannot do for these things. Okay. So let us see. This is the circuit. This is what we need to solve it. So what we need to do, we need to find the V naught. It is already clearly mentioned. Use source transformation to find V naught. Okay. So now you can see that 3 ampere source is going in the downward direction, and for that the 4 ohm resistor is connected in parallel. So obviously you can change this to voltage source with a resistor in series, right? So this 3 ampere source and this 4 ohm resistor are connected in parallel. So I'm converting this to this. Now you can see the current direction of this 3 ohm sources going in the downward. So the positive polarity of the voltage source should be below and negative polarity should be at the top. In case if the current source is like this, and when we are doing the source transformation, your voltage source should be like this, positive should be in top and negative should be in the bottom, because it is understandable that the current will be coming out of the positive polarity. Okay, so in that case, if the current source is having the polarity is like this, then the polarity of this voltage source will be negative here and positive here. Okay, so but based on this, we have drawn the voltage source like this. So the voltage magnitude of this voltage sources, this is 3 ampere source. The voltage will be nothing but resistance value into the current. So 4 into 3, that will be giving your voltage. So that is given like this. The voltage magnitude is 12 and the positive polarity should be like this. Okay, then you are having a 4 ohm resistor. You can see here that I have drawn the 4 ohm resistor here. Even if I draw the 4 ohm resistor here, or even if I have drawn the 4 ohm resistor here, it does not make any difference, because whatever the current flowing through this, same current will be flowing through this 4 ohm resistor. Okay, so you can see this part. For example, see, if I connect the 4 ohm resistor here, or if I connect the 4 ohm resistor here, does it make any difference? Actually, it will not make any difference, because even if it is here, if X current is flowing now, even if it is connected here, the same X current will be flowing here. So it will not make any difference, because these elements are connected in series. Since you are having these elements are connected in series, so even if you redraw this, it will not make any difference. For example, if you are having a 2 ohm resistor here and 8 ohm resistor here, and if you are having a voltage source of 10 volt, what is the current flowing through this path? 1 ampere. What is the current flowing through this 8 ohm resistor? 1 ampere. If you redraw this like 8 ohm here and 2 ohm here, again if you find the current, you will not get any change. You will not get any change. Okay, so both the elements are connected in series, so the current flowing through that will not change, even if you keep the resistor as first or last for the elements connected in series. So based on this, I have drawn the 4 ohm resistor here. Okay, so now you can see very clearly that this 4 ohm resistor and this 2 ohm resistor are connected in series, because whatever the current enter here, the same current will be coming to this 4 ohm resistor and it will be leaving the 4 ohm resistor. So these two resistors are in series. So these two resistors are in series, so you find the equivalent. So what will you get? You will be getting 8 ohm resistor in series, sorry, 6 ohm resistor in series. So this will be your 6 ohm resistor, then by your voltage source like this. Okay, so this is 12 volt source. Now this is one voltage source with a resistor in series. You can convert that to a current source with a resistor in parallel. So you can draw like this, right? So this is 12 divided by 6 ohm. This is 6 ohm. How I have drawn written this? This is voltage divided by resistance value. This is that resistance value. Okay, so if I found like this, I can see that the current source magnitude will be 2 ampere and this 6 ohm will be coming like this. It is very clear that this current direction will be going downwards, because the positive polarity is in downwards, so the current will be going out like this. So I have drawn the current source as going out. Okay, now the circuit has become very simple, because just a minute, because you are having two current sources in parallel. Other than that, you do not have any other sources. Now all the elements are in parallel. Okay, now all the elements are in parallel, so you can find the equivalent current source, and two of these resistors can be made equivalent. Okay, if I made like this, so 2 ampere current source is from top to bottom, and 4 ampere current source is from bottom to top. So if you want to represent like this, the overall current source will be in this direction, and this will be given by 4 minus 2. Okay, so 4 minus 2, you can see here that we have considered 4 minus 2. Why we have considered minus 2? because the actual current direction of the 2 ampere sources in the downward side. So here we are having 4 ampere source that is in the upward direction. So we are subtracting 4 minus 2, that is coming as 2 ampere current. Okay, now that is one thing. And the second thing is the 6 ohm and 3 ohm resistor and also the 8 ohm resistor. The 8 ohm resistor is also in parallel. Okay, now what do we need to find? We need to find the voltage across this 8 ohm resistor. Just a minute. You need to find the voltage across this 8 ohm resistor. Then these two 3 ohm resistor and this 6 ohm resistor are in parallel. You find the equivalent of this 6 parallel to 3. So that is nothing but 6 into 3 divided by 6 plus 3. You will be getting 2 ohm. Okay, so that is written here, that is 2 ohm. Then this is 8 ohm resistor. Now the current magnitude is 2 ohm for this source. So obviously you can apply voltage current division rule in order to find the current flowing through this individual resistance. We need to find the current through this 8 ohm resistor, then only we will be able to find the voltage across that. So the now we need to find the current. We are applying current division formula in order to apply the current. So this is 2 ampere based on this. Then this is the opposite resistance, because we need to find the current through this resistance, so you have to write the opposite resistance divided by the sum of the resistances. Okay, so the overall value is coming as I naught is equal to 0.4 ampere. Okay, so now V naught can be given by 8 into I naught, that is the voltage across the 8 ohm resistor can be given by 8 into I naught. I naught is nothing but the current flowing through that path, that is nothing but zero 0.4 ampere. Okay, so 0.4 into 8, that is nothing but 3.2 volt. Okay, so actually if you ask me, cannot I find the same thing using mesh, nodal and superposition theorem? Of course you can find the same voltage using mesh, nodal or superposition theorem. However, this is one technique, this will be useful for several circuit reduction. Okay, once you know KCL, KVL, mesh, nodal and superposition theorem, not superposition, source transformation, you can solve any kind of circuit. Okay, star delta conversion. Okay, once you know these things, you can solve any kind of circuits. Other than that, we are having theorems. Okay, theorems are completely using these concepts in order to find the required values. Okay, so in order to solve any kind of circuit, till now whatever you have seen, you will be using all the things. Mostly you will be using these four things at always. Then for some circuits you may be requiring star delta conversion. Okay, sometimes if you do not want to go for theorems, you may be requiring source transformation also. Okay, so you are having a single circuit, you are having one circuit. This circuit can be solved using n number of methods, but in this particular subject, when I am asking you to find the voltage across this particular element using source transformation, you should do using that method only. If you have performed using another method and if you have got the other value also, I mean if you have got the same value also, I will be giving 0 marks. Okay, you may be compatible with other methods, but till you complete this subject, you have to solve the problem according to the question. You should not solve any method whichever you are comfortable, and you should not find out the answer. Okay, but if I give you a general question like you find the voltage across this, you can use any method in order to find out the particular solution. However, if I have given the general most specific method, here I have mentioned use source transformation to find V naught, then you should have applied source transformation in order to find the voltage or current for the particular circuit. Okay, so this will also be useful when you are having multiple voltage sources with a resistor like this in series parallel. Okay, for example, let's say that you are having a voltage source with a resistor like this. Okay, so like that, if you are having n number of combinations like this, means this is one, this is two, and like that, let's say that you are having 10 parts like this. Okay, like this, 10 connections are there in parallel, then it will become difficult to solve this circuit by using the circuit as it is. So if you do the source transformation, it will become very easy for you, because all those voltage sources will be replaced with its equivalent current source. Then when you are representing with its current source, you are going to have a current source like this and resistor like this. So now if you convert all the voltage sources like this, then what happens? Then you can see that all the current sources will be connected in parallel. So all these current sources can be represented by its single equivalent value. So all the current can be represented by the summation of all the currents. Then the resistors will be in parallel. Okay, then it will become very easy for you to solve using source transformation. Okay, is this clear? If
Yes,
you
sir,
have
clear.
understood, yeah, fine. So if you have any doubt, you can ask. Else, we will let me tell about only one thing, then we can end the class. Okay, fine. So let me proceed then. So the next thing is superposition theorem. Okay, sorry. The next thing is Thevenin's theorem. So this theorem, actually, this theorem you will be using it for so many applications. Thevenin theorem and Norton theorem and superposition theorem. These three theorems are widely used theorems. Thevenin, Norton, and not superposition, even maximum power transfer theorem. These three theorems are having a wide application. Okay. Then the another theorem which will be widely used is superposition theorem. Okay. But these theorems are having wide applications in electronics, electrical, all the things. Okay. So this Thevenin theorem and Norton theorem are very much essential. And maximum power transfer theorem, maximum power transfer theorem is very much essential for ECE students, because this is highly useful in your subjects, and in your communication and all you will be using maximum power transfer theorem in order to apply maximum power. So this is very important for you people. Okay, but for maximum power transfer theorem you should have known Thevenin theorem and Norton theorem. Okay, we are going to see three theorems. First one is Thevenin, and second one is Norton, and the third one is maximum power transfer. Power transfer theorem is very much essential. Maximum power transfer theorem is very much essential for you. But for doing maximum power transfer theorem or for solving maximum power transfer theorem, you should know Thevenin theorem and Norton theorem. Okay. So consider these three circuits. Okay. So in these three circuits, what are the difference you are seeing? Okay. Among these three circuits, what are the different things you are seeing? Can anyone tell me what are the differences in these three circuits?
Sir, register increases in the parallel, sir. 5, 15, or 25.
Okay. So as one of your friends said, you can see that only this 5 ohm, this resistor, that means the resistor across the terminals A and B, it's only changing. Remaining all other circuit is same, exactly same, ditto, no other difference is there. Okay, means that in a complete circuit, only one resistor is changing, remaining all other circuit is changing. Sorry, remaining all other circuit is constant, that is given by this dotted line. You can see that the circuit which is given in the dotted line, it's not at all changing. Only the resistor which is across the terminals A and B is only changing among these three circuits. So what we will do, so we know all the things like already we have discussed KCL, KVL, mesh, nodal, superposition, whatever. If you, even though you know everything, okay, you can see here that only one thing is changing. If one thing is changing, obviously the current flowing through that is going to change, right? But if you use any of these methods, you have to solve the complete circuit again. Okay, if you're using mesh analysis or if you're using nodal analysis, or based on that you would have used KCL and KVL. Now what you should do to find the current? Let's say that I'm telling you to find the current through this 15 ohm 5 ohm resistor. Here I'm telling you to find the current through this 15 ohm resistor, and here I'm telling you to find the current through this 25 ohm resistor. Okay, three circuits you are having. In these three circuits, only the resistor element that is across the terminals A and B are alone changed between these three elements or between three circuits. Okay, but the remaining elements or remaining circuit in the circuit is constant. So in this case, if you are using any of these methods, you need to solve three times in order to find the current individually. Okay, I am telling you to find the current through the individual resistor. So here in these three circuits, you need to apply mesh analysis or nodal analysis repeatedly in order to find the current. We should be having certain alternative. Why? Because only one resistance is changing, remaining part is constant. When remaining part is constant, why do we need to solve the circuit repeatedly? That is what Thevenin thought, how we can use this complete part as a single equivalent, how we can use this as a single equivalent, and we will be just changing the load elements in order to find the current. So in Thevenin theorem, what we are going to do is we are going to replace this complete constant part. I told that only the load terminal, that is A and B, this is only going to change, remaining part is going to remain constant, only this resistor is going to change. Now what I'm going to do in Thevenin theorem, I'm going to replace the constant circuit with a single voltage source with a resistor in series. This complete circuit will be replaced like this. Okay, if I replace this complete circuit like this, now what do I have? I have only this load resistance outside. So this is terminal A and this is terminal B. This can be of 5 or 20, 15 or 25. Okay, so if you replace this circuit with this circuit, I have replaced this constant circuit which is mentioned in the dotted line with this kind of thing, then I can find the current very easily by using the simple formula as V divided by, let's say this is R or TH, let's say, and this is RL. Okay, so this RTH and this is RL. In this V is will be already fixed and this RTH will also be fixed. Okay, once I convert from this constant part to this part, my V will be fixed and RTH will also be fixed. Okay, so if I do the fixing like this, only this R load is going to change, that is RL. Then I just substitute the value of this resistance, that is 5 ohm or 15 ohm or 25 ohm. I can easily find the current. Okay, so the motive is you are having three different circuits. You are having three different circuits. In these three different circuits, only the load resistance is going to change. What is the load resistance? Here the load resistance means only the resistance across the terminals A and B are going to change. Remaining circuit is going to remain constant. If the remaining circuit is constant, if you are using mesh analysis or nodal analysis, you have to solve the complete circuit again. You will be getting set of equations, then you need to solve the equation in order to find the solution. But here only one resistance is changing in the complete circuit among these three. So if only one resistance is changing among all the circuits, why do we need to solve the circuit repeatedly in order to find the current? Okay, so in order to avoid that, what we are going to do, we are going to replace the complete constant circuit, whichever is constant, we are going to replace it with the voltage source with a resistor in series for Thevenin theorem. In Thevenin theorem, the complete constant circuit will be replaced with the voltage source with a resistor in series. Then it will become easy for us to find the current through this individual element just by using the formula V by R. V divided by R Thevenin divided R Thevenin plus RL. So your V is fixed and R Thevenin is fixed, then only this RL is going to change, then you can find the current easily. Okay, this is what you are going to do in Thevenin theorem. If the same constant part is replaced by a current source with a resistor in parallel, with a current source with a resistor in parallel, then that is called as Norton theorem. Okay, so this part, if you are replacing the complete constant circuit as a current source with a resistor in parallel, this is called as a Norton theorem. And if you are replacing this with the voltage source with a resistor in series, this is called as Thevenin's theorem. So it's obvious that already we have discussed about source transformation. So once you find this using Norton theorem, obviously you can find out this circuit just by doing the source transformation. Similarly, if you have found this circuit, that you can convert that to this circuit using source transformation. Okay, is that clear? We have just seen what is Thevenin theorem and what is Norton theorem. We are just going to replace with a resistor in parallel for a current source for a Norton theorem, and we are going to replace the constant circuit with a voltage source with a resistor in series for the constant circuit. Did you understand anything? If you have any doubt, you can ask. If you don't have any doubt, you people can leave. Thank you for joining. I think it is already four minutes exceeded. So you people can leave. If you have any doubt, you can ask, else you can leave the meeting.
Excuse me, sir.
Sir, when will you share these notes?
These notes I will share today.
Okay, thank you.
Remaining thing I have shared already.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was talking about Thevenin and all that. Source
Okay.
transformation.
Yeah, these things I will share it today. Yeah, someone else was asking something.
No, sir. I was just asking the same.
Okay. Mradul, you tell me, actually Thursday we have shifted the class, no?
Yes,
Now
sir.
there you did you get the information regarding the physical classes?
Yes, sir. We got